morning, farm fam. So after being sick for a week and a half, and I'm still kind of have some congestion and tiredness. Actually, I don't know if I'm tired or just apathy from not doing anything for a week or so. So if you're lacking motivation, step one, we talked about this before, get dressed. Get out of the pajamas, put on clothes. Step two, have a routine. And even though I have this routine, I don't know if you can call it routine because I always forget about it. So I try to come here, sit in my beanbag chair, and I read some scriptures and do some personal improvement study stuff. And also usually I like to make a list of what I want to do for the day. And depending on what kind of person you are, you can either make a list only things that you know you can accomplish, or if you're like, well, if I do something I feel good, then you can just make a list of a bunch of stuff and then just do what you can. Depends on your personality and stuff. I can make a list of a bunch of stuff, and as long as I get maybe half of it done, I feel pretty good. So yeah, get dressed, have a routine. And I mean, if you're a morning person, you could probably just get up, go and do stuff, and you could do more personal study, meditation, that kind of stuff later in the day. But I'm not a morning person, so I do this more low-key stuff in the morning, as I'm trying to get my body to wake up and function. So I'm gonna do my stuff, and then we're gonna get on with the day. Personal study stuff is done. Now, one of the things I wanted to do for a while since moving here, and once I really got to the point where I was ready to do it, it got too cold. I really want to wash the windows, especially the ones that look out in the backyard, because they're so dirty that it's just so hard to see. But it's still kind of cold, so I'm going to pour some alcohol in this water to help it from freezing and also to help it dry. No idea how much I need. I just poured some in there. And we'll see how this goes. Well, good news is the alcohol's working. It's not freezing on. I don't know if it's that cold though to freeze. Bad news is the water spots are so on there. I have to super scrub. Moxie's having a good time with the goats. I don't know if you can see a difference, but there is a big difference so far. It's still going to take me quite a while, so I'm not going to show the whole process because it's going to be boring. So I'll see you on the other side. Hey Farm Fam, I just got done eating a salad, so if you see any green stuff in my teeth, just ignore it. Save it for later. Yeah, got my windows mostly clean enough, I guess, for now. And then, just been doing some computer work most of the day. Been working on, a lot of people are curious where we're located, and I know we have our address on the website. Stan wanted to make a map of sorts to kind of help people better mentally know where we're located. So I'll put up a little thing of what I made. Any thoughts? Like it? Things I should change? Been thinking maybe of cropping it. We'll see how that goes. As I was updating the website today, because our bulk beef ends for our spring reservation ends on the 31st. And so I was updating that on our website. And so if you want your beef in the spring, please get on and get that reserved for bulk beef. So anything from an 1/8 cow up to a whole cow. As I was going through this, there was this part where we put raised with love, and we talk a lot about how we treat animals, but there's also more to it than with also how we treat human beings, or how we believe humans, really all living creatures, should be treated. And Stan started this or came back to the farm for family reasons. I may do the YouTube videos, but really this is all about family, especially his family, especially the kids. And someday I'll try to get the kids more into these videos, because I think that's what people really want to see, is the family and kid aspect. And on our motto is engaging in building healthy soils for healthy plants, animals, and people, because we believe everything starts with the basics. And for healthy food, that's the soil. We have to work with nature and build healthy soil. And for kids, it's raising them with love. And he has on here, and it's on our website, I think it's on our homepage, our main page near the bottom. It says, fresh air, open space, loving attention, and care. Our children get the best we can give them: an education and love for God's earth and animals, an opportunity to work with soil, plants, animals, a chance to regenerate our soil, and a goal to share clean, healthy, nutrient-dense food with love from our family to yours. And it's really cool seeing these kids with the knowledge that they gain and the work that they do. Samantha, 2 years ago, it would have been 2 years ago, when she was, I think she turned 8 already, started the egg business. And this idea came from Joel Salatin, who is a huge hero to us. Everything that he's done. Joel Salatin's books are amazing. YouTube videos are great. We try to follow as much as possible what he does. And he raises kids who are 8 years old. They started their own business. And so John will start his business either this year or next year. And I'm not totally sure. There are some ideas of what he'll do, and maybe he'll help Samantha. But Samantha's business started with her chickens, and so she does the eggs. And so this is part of them getting the best that they can have, them getting an education for and love for God's earth and animals, because she's learning the proper way of caring for chickens by having them out in open pasture, by what they need for proper nutrition, and by treating them with respect and kindness, because I don't think there's very many children who are just naturally born with how to treat animals or even people. But this is given her skills in talking with people and selling her eggs, and how to treat animals. And the little kids also, the younger kids, like to help her out a lot too. And I have done a video talking about Samantha's eggs, and I need to do another video about how she takes care of them in the winter, because the winter's different. Her eggs are still really good, but it's not the same as when they're out on pasture with the greens and the bugs. Winter's kind of a stale time, and Samantha allows her chickens to take a natural rest during the winter. When the sunlight gets shorter, the shorter hours, the chickens stop laying as many eggs, and they'll actually start laying more pretty soon. It doesn't take much of a change. But a lot of egg producers put artificial lights in with the chickens because the chickens are kept in, the shelter, whether it's a large place or a small place. They're kept in a barn. We'll call it a chicken barn. And that artificial light makes them keep producing, so these chickens never get a rest. And Samantha does allow her chickens to go through a natural state where they don't lay as much during the winter. And I think that's an important part of this education, is that not everything's just not always available. There's a season to eggs. There's even a season to beef. We don't butcher our cows in the wintertime because they aren't on that fresh green pasture. They're on the older pasture, and they're being fed harvested hay because there's nothing out there for them to really eat right now. So we need to give them hay that's already been harvested. And that nutrition really comes from them eating that fresh greens. And so we don't start butchering until spring, after they've had at least a month of really nice green feed. And then we'll go, I think November is probably the latest, because there's still some good stuff. October, November is the latest. And then from around November to April, May time, we won't butcher, because that's not giving you the healthiest, the primest, the best beef possible. There are people who do butcher during the winter, but they are most likely grain feeding their animals. I mean, our hay is such good quality, we could probably butcher and still have the right fat content and weight gain, but it's just, the nutrients just won't be the same. I mean, some people might say they are, but there's so much more to food than just magically having it. There's a proper time and season of harvesting and growing and doing these things, and it's kind of complicated in a way, like when you learn more, like especially like biodynamics, but there's a simple natural part of it as well. And we're trying to work with nature. And yes, we could butcher in the winter time, or we could make Samantha's chickens lay during the winter, but that's not how it works. We need a rest time and so forth. And I really like this dairy. Oh, I'm trying to think who. I will look it up if I remember, and I'm going to put it around here. Someone we follow on Instagram, and they allow calves to stay with their dairy cows. And I love that because it's more natural, and the calves only need so much milk for their actual nutrition, and the rest of that milk is like comfort milk almost. They'll just drink because they're stressed or because it makes them feel good or different things. And so they allow the calves to stay with the moms, and then they still harvest the milk that they need for either their own families or to sell or whatever they do with it. And I just love that. It's just so much more natural and fitting for animals to do that. And so that's, long story, the education that Stan's kids get out here. And really anyone, they've invited homeschool kids to come out a couple of times. They have like a homeschool group here, and they've been able to come out and learn about the chickens and the cows, and it's really cool being able to share that. We've had another customer bring out her son. I think he's been out at least twice now, maybe 3 times, and he just loves seeing the cows and how things work, and he understands. And I think it's important for kids to understand that those cows he sees in the field will eventually be food that he eats. And that's okay for kids, for humans, for people to understand that, to be part of this cycle. Just like when Stan and Christy and I butcher the meat chickens, they allow their kids to be part of that process to help us process the chickens and clean them and pluck them and different things, because one, it's giving them a great education. If they ever needed to process their own food, they'd be able to, and it helps them come closer to like, this animal, this life is sacred. I mean, just because we use it for food doesn't mean it's any less sacred, and we should properly and we should respect and properly, humanely, kill and process and treat this life that we've taken for our own food benefit, and use that properly. And that is part of this, an opportunity to work with soil, plants, and animals, because kids, or anyone in general, adults, teenagers, kids, they need those opportunities to reconnect with nature. And maybe your kids don't have access to a farm, or like Stan's kids do, but they have an opportunity, whether you do that through us or find another farmer. Maybe if you live way up in Salt Lake or Logan or down in St. George, maybe you want to find a farmer that's closer. If you're down south, we really encourage you to look up Red Acre Farms. They are amazing. They welcome people to come. Just contact them, let them know. You have Facebook. They're on Instagram. They have a website. I think it's redacrefarms.org.com. I had that. No, I'm not on it right now. But they are amazing. And so, but give yourself and give your kids the opportunity, to get their hands dirty, to plant something, to grow something, and then to see the animals and help them and help yourself understand that food comes with a cost, and it comes with a price. That even if it's spinach or a pepper or chicken or beef, all of that comes with a cost of life, a cost of blood, sweat, and tears. There are many moments working with cows that I have. There is sweat, there are tears, and there are blood. Well, actually, I don't know if I've ever bled. Maybe like a little scratch or something. But there have definitely been some tears for sure. But this opportunity is just amazing. We'd love to give you that opportunity. Again, if you want to come when it's warmer and more in the summer, a lot more opportunities there. But that's, part of this raising both animals and children. And that's why farm dogs are so well-rounded and so good. She's actually sleeping right now, like twitching, is because farm dogs are exposed to so many things. So Moxie's been around horses, cows, chickens, goats, cats, kids, random people, machinery, loud noises. Like, she's around and has been exposed to so much in her short life. She's not even 2 yet. That she just is able to handle things so well. When we first got her, and animals, just like kids, go through a fear period when they're young. She would bark at things or just kind of be a little bit more nervous. She couldn't handle if she got shocked by the electric fence or got nervous or scared. She just didn't know what to do with herself, and she would run off. She would run back to the house, and now she has so much more confidence. Of course, she's still a little nervous around the cows, but her confidence is so much more. And so giving yourself new opportunities and giving children those opportunities, of course, you don't just throw them in something, you work up to it. You're going to have a much more confident child, and you're going to have one that feels like they can make decisions. And isn't that what growing up is you teach, you give opportunities, and then you let this human being grow up into an adult that can function on their own. And unfortunately, we have a lot of children that don't know how to do that, because probably about my generation of parents, maybe older, probably older. I don't know. Maybe like people in their, anyway, I don't know. They've created these, you've heard of helicopter parents where they've controlled so much of their children's lives and structured it. And the kids, nothing against sports or school activities. I did a lot of school activities. Those aren't going to give you the same confidence and the same experiences as working with farm animals or working with adults. Working with kids, I mean, it's fine, you learn things when you work with peers, but when you work with older people and you're like, there's a mix of the generations, and when you're just part of something that really matters, I mean, my soccer team felt like it really mattered in the moment, but what really matters is raising my own food and taking care of myself and making sure that I am self-reliant and that I can also help other people. So give children and give yourself the opportunity to make choices, to make mistakes. I mean, one of the things that I like about what Stan and Chrissy do is that it's not going to be more to like cause death. They're going to let their kids do it. Their kids have understand how to handle knives, which of course they started with blunt knives, not the sharp ones, and the kids understand as they get older, they understand that, oh, I hear a tractor, I need to move, because they have this understanding that that the machinery is fun, but it can also be dangerous. And there's just so many of these opportunities that these kids have had that have given them just to be these amazing individuals. And then they also have quite a bit of understanding because Stan and Chrissy talked to them about how maybe this drought that we're going through, or why we don't want to put chemicals on our soils, or all these different things to, a chance to regenerate our soil. And our soil isn't going to just magically become better. This work that Stan and I are doing, it's not going to just, I don't know if in our lifetime it'll get to the point where we want it. So this is probably going to be passed on to John or Nicholas or Samantha or Sophie, whoever wants to take over the farm. Maybe the farm will be at a point that all of them could stay, or maybe one of my other nieces and nephews will be able to have the opportunity to continue this work to regenerate the soil. And like all good things, regenerating the soil isn't a short-term game. This is lifetimes. And I think that's important, to be part of something so crucial and amazing. I mean, hopefully by the time Stan and I are ready to retire, which I don't know if farmers really do retire. Dad, if you're watching this, do farmers ever really retire? Anyway, hopefully by the time Stan and I are to that retirement age, we'll be able to leave the farm at, I mean, it'd be cool if we get to double digits of organic matter, even if that's only 10%. I say only 10%. 10% would be amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think Stan said we're at 2% right now. And if I remember right, if you just take the slow route regeneration, I think it's 10 years for 1%. But we're hoping with cows and cover crops and not doing monocultures and all this natural stuff, that we can cut that a lot shorter, or like maybe 5 years or something like that. We've just heard, and I'll have to cover these books and other videos, that when you use all of these tools, it helps that process happen quicker. And then the end is, our goal is to share clean, healthy, nutrient-dense food. Because, I mean, I love being able to have this food for us. Goodness, hiccups. have this food for us, but our biggest goal is to share this because a lot of people don't have the knowledge or don't have the access to this food. Our beef, what we are offering is total transparency, no GMOs, no antibiotics, nothing dirty is put into our beef or our food. It's clean and it's nutrient dense food because we are way too much filled with imitation food. I am currently listening to a book by the author of Omnivore's Dilemma called In the Case for Food. I should look some of this stuff up before I talk about it. I will try and remember to put that up. I need to make notes for this. And he's just talking about, in Omnivore's Dilemma, he talked about like why we struggle so much knowing what to eat and then where food is coming from and how it's made. And it is awesome. Highly recommend it. This book, Omnivore's Dilemma. And then this book that I'm listening to, A Case for Food, is awesome because, you know, in the beginning he says, in essence, eat food and be healthy, or anyway, he just says pretty much the whole book is just about eating food. And what he means by food is he means by unadulterated foods, whole foods, not processed, not food labels, not things in it that you can't even pronounce. Whole foods. You know that one place in the grocery store, you know, they talk about if you just stick with the outside of the grocery store, then you're probably going to be a lot healthier. That's what this book is about, is the transition that we've come from it being normal to eat liver and organ meats and having a garden and stuff, to now where it's kind of, well, maybe now it's more normal for people to have a garden, but it's actually a lot harder now to get back to natural food because there's so much. I mean, you look at a store, 90% of that is processed food. Even I've gone into a natural food store and it's like, oh, cool. You go in, it's almost all processed foods. And that's not healthy. That's not clean food. That's not nutrient dense food, because that's science trying to take over what nature has planned. And you can't try to take apart nature because nature is too complex. Nature is already, God has already said, here is this delicious, amazing food for you to eat, and it has everything that you need. And that's what we want to help offer is, you know, back in the day, the meat was just better because the cows were in a natural spot, or any meat animal was in a natural spot. They were eating grass, they were, you know, their natural diet, natural things, and they weren't having antibiotics and all this stuff put in them that, yeah, may help them from being sick, but why are they sick? Why are cows seemingly more sick now, where they need like constant vet visits? And, you know, we need to look at that and get back to that nature part. And so we want to share with you that clean food. And we're not the only ones. We might be the only ones doing what we're doing, but there are other people who are trying, especially vegetable producers. And I would really like to find someone that's closer to us that we can work with on that. But all right, I have gone way longer than I thought I would, especially with all this other stuff. I don't know if I'll put it there. We'll see. So I want you to know that all that we do really is from our family to your family with love, because that's why we're doing this, is for love of nature, for the love of family, for the love of our community, and it's all about love. So thank you so much for joining me today, and yeah, remember to get your bulk beef. You only have 11 more days, and then that will close until we get ready for our summer, well, our fall butcher. So anyway, thank you. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.